Hornet's good with clone? Oh, really? Oh my god, we got skipped. What?
But that's alright.
Yo guys, what is up? Max on Borderlands 3 video, and today we're going over Zanezerker, my new clone Zane build. Now, I hesitate to call this a clone Zane build because while it is focused on clone, my biggest thing that I didn't like about clone builds is I always felt like I had to watch the clone do damage, and if the clone couldn't kill things, my character didn't have enough to actually kill things. This is a equal parts clone build as it as focused on us, and it's named Zanezerker because it's paying homage to the Gunzerker class in Borderlands 2 that never had to reload. This build, you will never reload ever. And all the weapons that we're using, you can sustain fire forever. It is a ton of fun. You get to go absolutely crazy with any of your weapons, and the clone is going to do really, really good damage. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you do, be sure to drop a like, comment, and subscribe. And that, guys, let's get right into it. So for the format of this video, we're going to talk about the guns and gear first, and then we'll go over the skill tree. And the first thing that we need to talk about is this anoint. While Digiclone is active, regenerate 30% of your magazine ammo per second. Now, this at first glance doesn't seem that great because it's an ammo regen and it's not damage. However, one thing to keep in mind is taking time to reload is going to decrease your overall DPS, and we can use weapons that we normally wouldn't ever be able to sustain fire, like a Monarch or a Soul Render, a Free Radical, a Torrent, a Chaosin. There's so many fun weapons. The Unkept Herald. You guys want to see something crazy? Look at this with the Herald. Ready? Watch it. See how it's going down? You will never reload this. It's actually crazy. And the Herald is one of the strongest weapons in the game, and you never have to reload it. Like, I know you're losing damage because you don't have a damage anoint, but like, think about all the damage that I'm gaining because I'm not spending any time reloading my Herald. And not only are we going to be doing damage, but our clone is going to be doing damage. And because we can sustain our ammo, we can also spec into a ton of fire rate. Overall, this is just so much fun. And I really recommend for all the weapons that we're using on this build, rocking Digiclone ammo regenerate. We're getting 30% of our ammo back per second. There are some weapons that this won't work on. For example, a Sandhawk you can't sustain, but there are more weapons that this works on than not. The OPQ. Infinite ammo on an OPQ. It's so much fun. The one thing I will say is do not use this with COV weapons. I know you guys probably want to use this with like the Tizzy and stuff. COV weapons and the overheat mechanic don't really work well with this. So you're still going to have those weapons overheat, and you're not really going to get ammo back in them, but anything else does work. Next up, for other new things, so weapons, this is like kind of like a use anything build. I will talk about the weapons that you should give to clone. The first weapon that I think you should give to clone, because for example, like I could give the clone the OPQ and it's going to be great with the OPQ, right? But it could blow itself up, and as soon as it blow itself up, then I don't have any ammo regen, and then I got to reload, and we're not planning on reloading anytime soon on this build. So the two weapons that I prefer giving to clone and then swapping, and we're spec'd really high swap speed so that we can just swap over to a weapon, is give clone like the no pew pew is currently my favorite weapon to give it. I like giving the clone the no pew pew or a Sandhawk. Those are my two favorites. We'll talk about the grease trap in a second because the grease trap is very special and very strong with this build. But give clone a no pew pew is what I do most of the time, and then I'll swap to my weapon and I'll bring clone around with me. This way you're killing things with your weapons which you're never ever reloading, and then clone is going to be melting things with the no pew pew. Clone's especially good with the no pew pew. The next thing that we're utilizing in this build that is new is the Mesmer grenade. Now, if you do not have DLC 6, you don't need to worry about this thing. You can use like an It's Piss or a Fish Slab. Both work well, but the Mesmer grenade, when the clone throws it, is going to confuse enemies and have them focus other things, which I mean, it's kind of cool, but what makes it cooler is we're benefiting from Trick of the Light all the time with this build, when Zane's going to deal 45% bonus cryo damage that enemies aren't targeting him, and because we're spec'd into Fractal Frags, a skill I don't usually spec into, Clone will actually throw the Mesmer Grenade and confuse things. Things that are confused, enemies will target them, and you're constantly getting this like 45% bonus damage dealt at all times, which is so nice, because it's going to pump up our damage even more, even though we're not using these damage annoyance. So it's so cool. Next pieces of gear is the Revolter. We're using the Revolter. Now, the clone benefits from the Revolter. The clone will do ridiculous damage when its shield drops. However, me activating my on-action skill start annoyance does not break the clone shield. You can see the clone shield there. Only when the clone's actual shield breaks, because the clone will get the exact copy of the Revolter for you, but clone can't use action skill. So as soon as the clone shield breaks, it'll get the Revolter. I don't really have a great way of breaking it. You could use like a low-level backburner, but it's not that deep. Most things will damage clone. Clone will drop it, and then clone will get crazy damage. And we can use Quick Breather to regen the shield. So if the shield is down for too long and you need it to recharge, just swap with your clone. He'll get his shield back up, and then the shield will drop, and then he gets that crazy damage for 15 seconds. Now, the other option is using like a version O.M, which with the circle works really well. It's not as much damage as the Revolter, it seemed to be. So we're sticking with the Revolter, and because we're doing damage and we can benefit from the Revolter, but I don't want to stand still in a circle to benefit from it, the Revolter is just the better option here. Next up, we're using a Seeing Dead. My like stuff is all 65 still. I'm sorry, like my guns are 72, but most of my gear is 65. I've got a Seeing Dead here. I'd rather have magazine size on this. Magazine size would be really nice, but action skill damage is great. We got Seeing Dead 5 out of 5 or 10 out of 5 into Donnybrook for as much clone damage as we can get. And then for the artifact, you could use a company man, but I'm switching manufacturers so much from like Atlas, Malawon, to Dahl to like, I kind of just wanted to use anything. So either an Icebreaker Victory Rush and using like cryo weapons like a Cryo Soul Render, Cryo Monarch. With the Victory Rush passive is now fixed, so it actually works properly. Or if you want to use the Pearl, you can use the Pearl. I'm not going to argue about which, because I've made plenty of videos arguing about between Icebreaker and the Pearl. You can use either one you want. They're both pretty good. And the Victory Rush is even better now because it actually works. Its passive actually works. So I've been using an Icebreaker Victory Rush. It seems to work really well with this setup. And next up, let's get into the skill tree. So the skill tree should be showing on screen. Some things I wanted to point out is I didn't put any points into Cool Hand, which I typically spec because we just don't reload. And Clone's not going to benefit from this, so we're not specking Cool Hand. I went Cold Bore with these points instead to get extra swap speed. Violent Violence, Playing Dirty, Good Misfortune, Death Falls Close. I originally spec'd into Domino Effect, which I liked, but too much fire rate if you don't have mag size buffs on your gear. Or with some weapons will be slightly too much, especially when this thing doubles if you hit with your action skill. So I did spec out of Domino Effect. It's fine. We still have plenty of fire rate. Commitment for the cooldown, Headsman Hand, Mana Focus. Now the reason I didn't spec Deja Vu here, while you do get ammo back, most of the guns that we're using on this build don't actually ever consume ammo in the first place. Like there you can see they are, but the only time that I'm not going to be consuming ammo is when I'm using Clone. I lost my mag size, so now it looks like I'm consuming ammo. Definitely need as much mag size buffs as you can. So yeah, we don't need reload speed, and Deja Vu isn't going to really matter because we'd rather have accuracy and hit those shots because we're going to be firing like crazy and firing a lot. So the accuracy is going to go everywhere. More accuracy, better. We'll need 1 point into Good Misfortune because we're running Seeing Dead. And then for Red Tree, if you're using Clone, if you have the Mesmer, I'd recommend Fractal Frags. If you don't have a Mesmer, I probably wouldn't recommend it. It's still nice with an Itch Piss, but just note that your overall clone damage per second is going to lower because the clone will take time from shooting to throw these grenades. But because we're taking such a huge benefit from Trick of the Light with the grenades, I figured it was worth. I'm pretty sure Ancient Rune was the one that showed me that. Supersonic Man, Pocket full of grenades. I've been specking this way for Clone Zane Red Tree forever. We don't need Synchronicity because we already have so much freaking gun damage, and 5 out of 5 borrowed time because it's really important for our clone to stay up. Guys, that is it for the build. There's so many fun weapons that you can use. It's so much fun. This is better ammo regen than like Moe's gets, and you can use it on anything. The light show, the Lyuda. We can even sustain a super shred-of-fire. Where's my super shred-of-fire? Just want to show you guys this real quick. Look how crazy this is. Like, this is a super shred-of-fire. I couldn't even do this on Moe's, and like no issues here. Full fire rate buffs from the Revolter, from our skill tree, and you can just full auto a super shred-of-fire. It's crazy. All right, guys, that is it for the video. It'll be in the Discord, this save file, if you guys want to check it out, and I'll catch y'all on the next one, guys. Take care. Peace.